This is Dylan with Now Producing. We're here with Portrayal of Guilt at Persistent Vision Dark Days, Bright Nights Festival in Richmond, Virginia.
Close my eyes, not even know it burn. I see a memory, a life of sin.
Could you tell me your names and what instruments you play?
I'm Alex and I play bass.
I'm Matt and I play guitar and do the vocals.
In a previous interview, you had said that you take a lot of inspiration from film scores. How did you first start listening to film scores?
Just by watching movies, how a movie makes you feel. I mean, specifically, I guess like a horror movie. Just how sounds make you feel, like can feel scared and stuff like that. And that always resonated with me, and that's something I've always tried to bring into our music, basically. I'd say like the last score that I was compelled to listen to after the fact was Midsummer, because there was a few things on there that were like a ton of voices just kind of wailing, and it was so uncomfortable, and that's kind of what we're going for in a way.
Are there any plans to actually score a film with your music in the future? I know you've kind of done some music videos that are in a similar vein. Have you approached any directors or vice versa for that kind of thing in the future?
Definitely like a goal, I'd say.
We haven't really approached anybody specifically, but we've been obvious with being open about it.
We've also been trying to get into a game or something.
Maybe Fortnite.
Yeah,
that has nothing to, that has nothing to do with
Fortnite,
anything, though.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's a big part
huge.
of it,
It's not so much of a
Yeah.
score as it is a jam. We're definitely trying to score something. I do know somebody that we may work with, maybe creating some type of music for something, but I don't know if that's an actual thing yet, but it's a goal, that's for sure.
That Matt works at a screen printing shop.
I used to. I don't anymore, but I did.
I was wondering if you had printed your own merch while working there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's where the deals are at.
Do you still do that?
I don't, but I work with them whenever we do merch for tour and stuff like that. Because I worked there for so long, we kind of have like a legit deal situated. PMA, Print Shop, Austin, Texas. Plug them.
Did that lead into you guys designing your own merch?
When we started, I was kind of designing most of the stuff, but at this point, it's just more or less artists that we're fans of. It's all curated. We don't design it, but I mean, we definitely curate it as far as like the artists that we work with.
Lots of friends that do stuff for us.
Yeah.
I know you would work with Chris Taylor from Page 99 a lot,
Yeah.
even on the last album cover, I believe.
Love Chris's work.
Are there any other artists that you would like to specifically name?
We played with that one band where the guy wore a burlap sack.
Oh, that was in
Otras.
Slovenia. Yeah, Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Yeah.
So this guy's from Slovenia. He's supposed to be working on something for us currently for like another like kind of record that
Yeah.
we're doing. He goes by Cirrus, but he's done a ton of shit for us. I trust him, so we've been working with him specifically. Yeah, he's fucking amazing. But we're just picking out our friends mostly.
You guys own and operate your own record label. Has it been hard transitioning from doing self-releases to releasing on labels like Closed Casket?
Well, our label technically like started, I guess, a few years ago, but we weren't doing too much. I think we did like a cassette release for our first LP, and then we're kind of like dipping into some other stuff that we were doing. But self-releasing is where it's at, and that's like how we're gonna actually make money. There's a lot of work that goes into it. I'm always, working on setting things up, putting orders in, and shipping things myself. Realistically, we make the most money that way. That's, at the end of the day, the smartest move. It's not so much about like the promotion, but it's more so about this is what we're trying to do with our lives, so we're just trying to figure out how to make it more reasonable for ourselves, essentially, in the long run.
Do you find that difficult even now, being as large as you are?
I wouldn't even say like we're large at this point. I will say like the amount of orders and stuff like that, it is difficult for sure, very demanding. If we put out merch or we put out a record or something like that, at least 100 orders come in. I gotta pack like 100 plus orders, and it's just like, I'm sure there's a bunch of bands out there that have this same issue. That's what you gotta do.
I picked up your Christfucker LP. I thought the packaging design was really interesting, where it says S/T, almost like self-titled. Pull out the foil sleeve and it says Christfucker on it. Did you do that because it was like a retail release?
It was because it was a retail release. Realistically, I wanted it to be like the chrome cover and it just say Christfucker at the top. I don't know exactly why we ended up doing that. I think it was just because it was such a good idea. I'm sure retailers would be like, what is this? I'm not putting this on our shelf.
Very first thing you see is
Exactly.
that name. Just
If you see an album titled Christfucker,
Polarizing.
you're
You're
gonna
interested at the
pick
very
that up.
least.
Very polarizing. Yeah.
So that was my whole thing. The whole like self-titled thing honestly really worked out. In future pressings, it'll be the way it was intended, but it was very smart. And it was meant for retail. That's why that happened.
Before I want a price for time, but I can't wait.
With your sound, it kind of makes something like record pressings a bit more nuanced. Do you guys actively work with like mixing engineers when pressing records?
There's a lot of like back and forth, I'd say, between mostly you and James.
Yeah, mixing notes with anybody we record with is always honestly a nightmare, but it's not their fault. It's like, honestly, it's my fucking fault. Realistically, I have insane amounts of notes always. Mixing drums is always a task, and like mixing guitars and vocals and this and that, I'm always so picky with. So usually it's just me and James going back and forth constantly. There hasn't been too many bass notes.
If you can hear it, good.
What's it been like touring with artists like Fish Narc and BB Goyard? Are the audiences at those shows really shocked when you guys go on, or vice versa?
We did like 3 shows with Baby Goyard. I would say we were probably the main draw of those shows, and so I think it was confusing for people that listen to us. It would start as like a rap show. Most of the people that came to a punk show are just kind of like confused and don't know what to do. It felt awkward for sure when that was happening, but there were a couple days that it worked out. It's always weird doing that mixture of music. I really want it to work. I was kind of involved in putting that together in general. That's something that we want to do more of, and so I feel like that was the step towards doing that. Hopefully more people will be open-minded in the future. I mean, obviously you have Turnstile with like Suicide Boys and shit like that. That's the big scale version of it. Punk music and like rap music realistically goes together. I mean, at this fest, honestly, they're just playing Memphis rap during that makes perfect sense to me.
Of course,
you know, it fits, and that's what I like to listen to too. So hopefully we'll see more of that.
I kind of got that a little bit with y'all touring with Chat Pile, considering just kind of like the speed of the music.
We're just such good friends that it makes so much sense. The
I
friendship
think it
makes sense, you know?
100%. You said you were recording.
We're writing and kind of recording, but yeah.
Is there anything you can say about the sounds and themes that will be on the upcoming release?
We're definitely leaning toward catchier songs. I don't even know who to reference here. Pop bands in the early 90s, or whether it be like Alice in Chains, Placebo, or Interpol, or any of those bands, they have smash hits. Clearly, though, when you hear them, it's obvious. So that's something I've had in mind. I want to write those kinds of songs. Maybe if that means being a little more accessible, but still being still be heavy, it'll still be scary, but it'll be catchy and easier to listen to. We write a lot of black metal influenced stuff, which will still be on the new records, but it'll be more of like a interesting mix. We're going to try to write heavier than anything we've ever done, less heavier than we've ever done.
Almost be like a singles album in some aspects.
I mean,
Every song's a hit.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, that's the goal. If we can do a fucking album full of smash hit singles, I think we did something.
I like that.
You know?
Arriving in, not
Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem. Yeah, of course.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having
I'm really looking forward to seeing y'all play.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Man, I got so many mosquito bites on my calves, man. It's
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Dude, I seen them out here. They were at our
Yeah.